Young people are using ChatGPT to write their applications. HR is using AI to read them. No one is getting hired.
Tesla, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and almost every tech company you can imagine have tried to replace humans with AI.
AI is helping more senior engineers thrive as compared to junior engineer. Dear international students, the American dream for an international students is over. The job market is basically dead, so please don't come here. That is all the media talking about in the last 1 month since the 100K H1B visa came about. There's so much to break down, so many clarifications are here right now, so many good things to talk about, optimism around it, and especially the job market in the US, how AI is changing the job market, and most importantly, what I see for the job market coming in 2026. Because this video is going to be the most important video helping you frame your US international student journey and preparing for the job market. So first of all, I want to talk about why there was so much noise, and I waited for 1 month to make this video. I got so much appreciation for the reels. I made immediately reels when this H1B noise came, that when I was an international student, those reels were one of the most shared, because when I was an international student, similar stuff came that during COVID, when the entire US university system is running online, if you don't have majority of the classes in person, you cannot enter the US. So there was so much, freak out happening. I was thinking, if I go to India, I cannot come back to the US, so I have to attend US classes online. Within a week, we got clarifications from USCIS and it was all solved. Similarly, this time we got clarifications in a month regarding most important thing with 100K H1B news, that it does not affect international students right now and the future international students. That doesn't mean all international students' problems are solved. There's so much to break down, but this is the biggest optimism we saw, that 100K fees is seen optimistically now as compared to pessimistically by startups and big tech. I'm going to break down all of that, what people thought about it before and now what people are going to think about it now. Another drama that when, H1B news was introduced, Guillermo, the co-founder of Vercel Next.js, he talked about that Silicon Valley is not made by H1B workers, but O1 visa workers. He said that, Silicon Valley is so amazing because of O1 visa, the country is so great, so worth fighting for. I put an immense amount of work into my application, get O1 and all problems are solved. Then so much fight happened that if H1B did not exist, Satya Nadella, Sundar Pichai, Jensen Huang, all of these talented individuals wouldn't be in the US right now. And that is also true. It is a fact. The states in the US with more H1B holders have more patents filed. They make American technology more competitive. And let's think about this, right? Let's say if an American company hires someone from Colombia, India, Mexico, they would pay taxes in their country, not in the US. They would support small businesses there in their own country, not in the US. So by hiring H1B holders, you're supporting small businesses, you're getting patents, they're creating more jobs, because more than 50% of Fortune 500 companies are created by immigrants or immigrants' kids. So this is a short form why H1B is so important. That's why now I'm going to break down what was expected of H1B ruling and what's the truth now. So there's so much to break down. This is Pragmatic Engineer, one of my favorite newsletter. The sudden changes happened, September 19. I still cannot forget the day. I was ready to take my own flight as well, by the way. But that news happened. It was a lot of chaos. There was, I just don't want to break down the chaos right now, but I want to tell that when it happened, 100K was introduced as a one-time fees, not annual, not recurring, one-time fees, and existing H1B holders were not affected. It's only during the entry was to be affected. And, all the companies said, please do not leave the US. So a lot of people just cancel their flight. The Emirates flight in San Francisco and a lot of Air India flights, it was halted for 3 hours. A lot of drama happened. But the most important thing I'm going to show you right now is this rule is not affecting Amazon or Microsoft, but mainly TCS. Why and how? Here is it. When this rule came, a lot of anger came only for startup founders, not for big tech, because big tech, they have so many options. instead of paying 100K, they can now file for green card. EB is basically employment-based green card of their applicants, and they can stay on H1B and they don't have to file or hire a new H1B, and they can just stay with that same H1B longer. Number two, more O1 applicants, big tech can hire. Number three, they can hire people through L1. And number four, they can hire people outside the US, which I shared. But if you have to hire outside the US, that is also difficult for startups, but easy for big tech, because we're talking about big tech, because big tech can actually, because big tech has to do something as S174. That means share how much salaries will go outside the US over the next 15 years, make a chart. Basically, big tech has all the resources for this. They can do this as well. They will be able to stay in power whether they hire in the US or outside the US. These four options were with all big tech. Startups, it's hard for them to hire outside, as I showed you, because of S174 is not easy for startups. And number two, now they cannot hire H1B, becoming more expensive for startups to hire talent. But now, since this news is sorted, startups can hire F1 students, they can hire US citizens, of course, and they can also hire people who will be converted from F1 to H1B. They can support them, and H1B cost is not increased for them. So remember that. So this predictions made that, it's going to hurt startups is not true anymore. It's going to hurt more TCS, because companies that were bringing direct H1B holders to the US will be more hurted. This gives a lot of clarifications for international students. They want to come to the US. Can they easily say, yes, I'm going to come to the US over other countries? The answer is not 100% yes yet, because of this happening, which is not final yet, might be happening in the next few years, which is called end of H1B lottery for high paying positions. So basically what this rule predicts is, because 85,000 H1B lottery is given every year, what this rule predicts is you're going to categorize into 4 wage levels. Number one is, let's talk about a city like Sacramento. This guy talks about Sacramento. So let's say if you make $175,000, you would be level 4 of that city. But if you are in San Francisco, you would be level 2 of that city. So depends on the city to city, but let's say you are making 175,000 for an average city like Sacramento, Atlanta, etc. You will be in level 4. That's like the highest H1B salary of the city. And if you are making $70,000, $80,000, you'll be in level 1. You're making 100, 120, you'll be in level 2. 140, 50, level 3. 175, level 4. Now, this rule is very obvious. It's going to favor more people in level 4, which are only 5%. And higher age earners will have higher chances of getting H1B visa, because level 1 and level 2 who are making 100 or like 70 to 120K thousand on H1B visa are taking majority of the H1B visa instead of choosing a US citizen. That's the theory. But this has implications, because let's say in a village where average salaries are anywhere $50,000, $60,000, if a doctor wants to go there, work, they would not be likely to be selected, because earlier equal distribution was given to all the people, low salary or high salary. So this has less likeliness to be passed or to be considered. It's just a theory right now. It's just a petition. Who knows it's going to be done or not. But either way, if you are a talented person, you still have 3 years of OPT to upskill yourself, or go to a city where $100,000 is the high salary, or where you are making maybe 175K plus to make it level 4. You still have enough options. Of course, the sentiment around this rule was negative for international students, which you can see right now in my chart. In the month of August, 50%. In the month of August, China received double US visa for F1 starting, let's say, in spring, because in August, most likely you were going to go for spring or September. Chinese students got double F1 visa accepted as compared to Indian students. Less applicants from India as well, because there's a huge difference between China and India. Let me tell you, because I've stayed a couple of weeks in China as well. I've talked to so many students in China. I've understood the Chinese educational market, how it's very similar to the US. But I will still say, by staying in so many countries all over the world, there is no country as good as the US, because 90% of the people in the US, or more than 90%, are like open to collaborate with immigrants, irrespective of your race, color, gender, religion. I felt so accepted in my classroom, in the apartment, in the kind of diversity I was living. You can take Japan. Like, I've seen fully fluent speaking Japanese not called Japanese, even if they have everything required to be Japanese, other than the race. Same in other countries, happens time to time. But how much respect you get as an immigrant, I can proudly say I'm an immigrant in the US, but saying in other countries could be harder. Irrespective of the friction increasing here and there, but I still think US is made from the nicest people, and they still treat you as nicely they have been treating in the last 100 years. So that's why I would still choose US to study, and I would still bet on the US. But when something like this happened, that China introduced K1 visa to attract H1B holders when this noise was happening. A lot of people in Reddit in the China's forum talked about China is for Chinese nationals. Same happened for Korea, same happened for other countries in Asia, which were trying to attract H1B holders from the US. So still, I think US still has the edge thanks to its tech competitiveness and how much respect we get as immigrants there. And another thing I'll talk about from India versus China is that 75% of H1B holders are Indians. There's a different mindset of students from China going to the US versus Indians going to the US. So the mindset is China has their 1,000 Talents program and their Sequoia Capital China, which is renamed now something else. These venture capitals and the funding China has to attract talent from the US back to China is immense. Like, they are able to pay 150K USD to a researcher coming from US university to Chinese university. They're able to pay 14 million to a Tencent AI engineer coming from AI company in the US to Tencent. These kind of things are rare for Indian startups, Indian big tech, because India is still developing. So I think that's why less Indian students are applying, because they care about return on investment immediately. But Chinese students have opportunities as in terms of money in China as well. So they don't care about it. They go to the US for the experience, for the education system, for talking to people who are open-minded, accepting. One thing that Indian students do not understand is the biggest skill you learn by going abroad is assimilation, adaptability, agility, because you're going to a different environment, different culture. If you can adjust one time in a new place, you can adjust multiple number of times as well. And that is the biggest skill you learn by becoming an international student. If you can come out of your comfort zone once, you can come out of your comfort zone again as well. Of course, it's not as easy as it sounds like, but you can think about coming out of comfort zone over and over again. Number of times people in the US move from one state to another, it surprises me. It happens not as much anywhere else I've seen. So agility, adaptability is a very important skill to consider when you're studying abroad as well. Now, finally, let's talk about the state of current job market. Here is the story of current job market. It starts with how this bubble is being formed right now. So I want to start with Perplexity's valuation. It was around $500 million in 2023. So many companies wanted to acquire it. Apple was considering creating their own search engine. And OpenAI was thinking as well, because it was only $500 million. Because other companies are taking interest in a small startup, that company can actually raise more at a valuation of $1 billion, raise more at a valuation of $3 billion, which happened, and then raise more at a valuation of $11 billion, making the founder a billionaire as well, which is 100 times the revenue, which value is not returned yet. If the startup is successful, the value will be returned maybe tremendously high, or it will be among the startups that fails as well. Who knows? But the truth is, all investors, all founders are betting that their startup will not be the one failing among the 90% of the startups that fail, for a better return for investors and better return for themselves. That is the bet played by all the AI startups who are rejecting the idea of actually being acquired and starting to stay lean and hiring less. Because if a company gets acquired, gets bigger, potentially they could have hired more and thought of growth. But all these startups are going towards a vision of staying lean, not getting acquired. And same happened with the interview I took of the Cursor AI team.
Or having a really small lean team of maybe 2 to 3 folks
In sales.
on the growth team.
If you see my Cursor AI team interview, they said that their growth plan is to stay lean. They had an option to hire 100 growth people versus staying lean with 5 people and hiring AI agents and allotting AI agents and monitoring them. That's the path they chose. Staying lean is the biggest trend in the hiring of 2025 and 2026. It will happen to be the same way until this bubble pops, when 90% of the startups fail, and the startups which have succeeded, they start to hire more and more again. That is my bet. But currently, let's go into more details of how you can actually get hired. I can summarize hiring in one sentence. The idea of getting hired is being talented plus being in the right place at the right time. And you can see multiple roadmaps of people teaching you how to be at the right place, right time. But I'm going to share some of the roadmap of 2 to 3 things you can do in your life to be at the right place at the right time, because currently the job market is crazy. There's a famous quote by Atlantic. Young people are using ChatGPT to write their applications. HR is using AI to read them. No one is getting hired. And that is so true. The number of applications are increasing so much. It used to be the case that they used to receive 4 to 5 resumes a week. Look at this. This guy said 1 to 5 resumes a week, now 300 to more a week. More and more applications are automated. Some of that is just AI spam. And that's why hiring is very, very difficult. And that is the trend we see, that AI systems in hiring are not good. The AI applications we are sending are not good. You can only stand out when your emails are written by yourself in 2 to 3 lines, when AI generates few paragraphs. Because I can tell, more recruiters told me they can tell that this person wrote their emails themselves, which is written by themselves. I showed you so many emails in last 2 of my AI job market video by Ben Lang. He showed like these beautiful cold emails that work. If you go to layoffs.fi, you might see a lot of pessimism that Microsoft has lay off 16,000 plus employees this year and 20,000 plus in the last 3 years, which is crazy. The most work-life balance company, which company I still proudly call myself ex-Microsoft engineer. I loved it. I resigned. I was not laid off. It's crazy that Microsoft tops the chart after Intel and Tesla in terms of most layoffs, because Microsoft laid off 10,000 people in, July 2025, 9,000 in July 2025, and around 6,000 in May 2025, 15,000 people from Microsoft this year itself. And these are the layoff numbers, but the optimism here is 2024, it was 150,000. Currently, almost the end of this year, we have 98,000. Still less layoffs than last year. Still, job market is getting better, slowly recovering, but it is recovering. You should keep that in mind. And coming back to what we can tell about this job market and hiring is that AI engineers are hottest in demand. I made a video last time about how to become an AI engineer. But the thing is, AI engineers are hard to find. Good engineers try to stay put. They are either hired. I showed a chart in my last video. Most hiring happens just between these companies. If one of these companies want to hire an AI engineer, they will see, oh, this Meta engineer left his AI engineering job, let's poach him. So the majority of hiring happening like this is like 95% of the hiring. You trying to be unique, standing out, who hasn't worked in these companies is harder. So the rule stay the same, that you have to be talented one to get hired, because AI is still helping more senior engineers than junior engineers. Let me tell you what skills you need to get, because this is my favorite article which I saw. Okay, so the most quoted article in the tech world, why AI is helping more senior engineers thrive as compared to junior engineer. comes down to the skills AI does best and AI is not able to do that still with senior engineers. And that is the same skills you need to learn today. So for example, this article talks about that AI is not good at, number one, code review. It can give summaries of code review. It cannot reason. I think some code review in terms of formatting when I was using at Microsoft or even when I code these days, I think AI reviews are useful, but majority of the time, senior engineer gives better code reviews. Number two, bad prompts. Who writes good prompts? I think senior engineers are not writing good prompts. Senior engineers know more about the code base, so they are able to add more context to the prompt. That's why they are able to shine. Number three, architecture. Architectural knowledge is one of the biggest skill more junior engineers need to learn to become senior, because without solid architecture, software quickly loses value. Computer architecture, understanding the system, is one of the most important skills most junior developers can learn, because the idea is the senior dev, who understand the architecture can approve more quality changes done by AI. If you do not understand your code architecture, if you think that AI copy pasting some random architecture is good enough as a junior developer, then you are wrong. You need to have proper understanding your coding systems, architecture, and architecture as a whole. I remember when I joined any new company, any new team, there is like 1 to 2 days dedicated on architecture design itself. And only senior engineers know most about their architectural design and system patterns. Next, code quality, security are also part of it, because a data came out, 1 in 5 or 20% of the security vulnerabilities are happening because of vibe coded applications coded by junior devs who do not understand what they're coding. So security is one of the skill which more and more developers can invest, because AI cannot do. And don't get me wrong, these all skills AI might be able to catch up before you might catch up, but still it's worth it to rather spend your time in learning something which can be valuable, rather than wasting on TikTok thinking, oh, software developer job will be replaced one day, so why should I learn? No, that should not be the mindset. Currently, there is a bull run by startups hiring, giving crazy offers to founding engineers and good engineers, and take advantage and make the best use out of it. And AI is good still at fast prototyping, speed up routines, multidisciplinary work, and function tests. So small part of the code base, I think, and small vibe coded apps, AI does it fantastic. But these are the skills where I would say all junior devs should learn to actually stand out in this market. And last thing I will say is 2 things that stand you out to get hired. It's not LinkedIn anymore. LinkedIn has more outbound than inbound. That means that more and more people are using LinkedIn, that it becomes noise for recruiters. But one thing that stands out is becoming an influencer on LinkedIn, Twitter, posting about your project. And Pragmatic Engineer says, when you post about your projects, about your work regularly on LinkedIn or Twitter, absolutely write the location, whether you're based in India or based in the US, the city you're based in, because if you write the city properly, AI hiring you or a recruiter seeing your profile can figure out that this person regularly codes from San Francisco, Atlanta, Delhi, Bangalore. So when you say that over and over, whether it's AI hiring you or whether it's recruiter seeing your profile, they will be able to understand you properly and you will have more chances. And last is referral still helps. In big tech, in the course of last 3 years at Microsoft, I referred 100 plus people. Only one of them got hired through my referral. I will say that more senior people referring you is more valuable. Referral is still valuable, but senior devs in big tech, that referral is more valuable. In startup, it might be different. In startup, any random engineer referring you could be very useful. But in big tech, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, try to get referral from as senior engineer as possible. So that is my bet for job market. I believe it's going to improve when this bubble bursts. Then the companies will realize that AI agents aren't as good, or it becomes as good. Either way, it will be leading to more hiring. That's my bet. What do you all think? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.